there's an Al Pacino movie where it's like Al Pacino and two other actors, and basically they're all retirees, and one
Morgan
guy,
Freeman.
what's that?
With Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
they
yeah,
go
love that movie.
they go on a joyride. What is the name of
Yes, I
what is the
can't
name of
remember the name of it, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, and
It's
so they
wonderful.
like they steal a car,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I think they so anyway, you know the name of the movie, and of course I'm gonna screw up the title.
right. I
But
can't think of
the
it
thing
right
is
now.
that
Yeah.
they're them as actors at that age still have a lot to offer because when we're talking about like Al Pacino, we're talking about we're talking about, oh God, what was his name in The Godfather? Michael Corleone. We're talking about Michael
Oh yeah.
Corleone from the 70s, and your generation still remembers him and
Oh yes.
will still throw down those $10 at the movie theater or go
Oh
to
yes.
the DVD.
You
I mean,
talking to me?
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, that's that's still a lot of value that those three
Yes.
guys. I forgot what the name of the third actor is, but I think he's a little bald on top, but he plays the widower in that movie. They're still bringing value, and I
Yes.
thought, so I got curious about the film. It was about maybe 8 years
Hmm.
ago, or
Hmm.
exactly the year. I don't know. It was about like maybe 2010 or so, and I thought, okay, maybe this movie could be fun, and yeah, it was.
Hmm.
It's about a
Hmm.
bunch of older gentlemen, and they're
Sure.
like, yeah, they flew the coop, they left the
Yeah.
nursing home, and they
Yeah.
had a freaking blast. And so that's that's inspiring to me because it just goes to show
Yes.
that like not everything is about, oh, all movies have to be about the young, the hip, the fresh. Like
Right.
there's still a lot of fun that your demographic can bring to the screen and in the storytelling
True.
process, right?
The Golden Girls. We did a skit at Hotel McCoy last year, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
You know, at La Posada, I have a calendar with me on there that played one of the Golden Girls. So I mean, really, the opportunities are unlimited. It's just how much you want to get into it. Grant you, I like my isolation and peace and quiet too. But at the same time, you have to have a balance between that. And that too comes with experience. You need to put a balance in your life. Enjoy the things you want, be it being an extra or digging in the garden, whatever. But take some time for yourself. Take some time for yourself. That's very, very important.
Dorie, let's go into balance, and then I also want to talk about. Remind me that I have a question about money a little
Yeah.
later on down the line, if Zoom doesn't cut me off. So let's talk
Okay.
about balance because I have a former friend, and he's the type of person who, when I say, now I'm trying this new thing, and take a look at this other thing that I'm doing, and this and that, he will see that as, oh man, here goes Edgar again, like he's tweaking and retweaking, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like what a pain in the butt. I see that as constantly fine tuning that balance in my life of, okay, editing my film at night didn't work, but it does work at 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. And so, just so I see tweaking and retweaking as, in my case, as a way to better find that balance and to always refine the process of finding that balance, including, like you said, time for peace and quiet, time for you, time for your life, time for gardening. How important is it to have that balance in your life? Because we've all seen like when people throw that out the window and they go like 300 miles per hour in one direction, all of a sudden the burnout is there. Because burnout is also super real too.
That's very true. And you found a balance. You said the hours between 4 and 8 work for you. So you have already found your balance.
Mhm.
And that's a positive. I do see people going 90 miles an hour in their life, like, I have to get this done today. Well, what's going to happen if you don't? What's the worst thing that's going to happen if you don't?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, step back, prioritize. Okay. Find that balance between me, okay, and what's important. You would be surprised if you would make a little list and sit down and say, maybe I need to reevaluate really just what is important to me and how I can achieve my balance a little bit better,
Yeah.
you know, and absorb that for a couple days before you make any decisions. But there are people like yourself that work hard and you have a certain amount of time during the day, and there's certain things you have to get done, or going to a job, when you're done from that job, anyone, go home, take a deep breath. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever works for you, and reevaluate what you need to do to maintain your balance.
Yeah. And for me, like in my phone, in the notes section,
Yes.
I literally need to structure, okay, these are my priorities, my life priorities.
Yes.
And then there's
Yes.
also the to-do list, but because I think we all step into that moment, or those moments when we feel the chaos and we feel like, oh, there's so much going on, when really, like, when I look at my little notes again, I'm like, no, there's not a lot going on. Like, if
Mhm.
you just recalibrate to these 5 things that I want to focus on in my life. um,
Exactly.
and so, for me it's a to-do list, for me it's a priorities list, and that helps me maintain the balance, because without that balance, or without those lists, honestly, I do feel my life is in chaos. And when you feel your life is in chaos, are you really productive?
If you feel your life is in chaos, then it is.
Yeah.
And you're right. And lists are good. Lists are
Yeah.
very good. They tend to prioritize what you need to do,
And
what's
especially
important.